All right, well, today I wanted to talk about why I don't do face ratings. Some people have asked me to rate their faces over the months, and I wanted to explain the reasons why I'll never do face ratings or sell any courses on this channel. The first reason is that I just don't genuinely enjoy rating a man's face as a straight guy. It just feels weird, it feels cringe to be honest. I feel that I could give an accurate rating to most guys and give a range of how I would think the vast majority of women would find them attractive. But to be completely honest, it wouldn't really matter how I would rate you because it only really matters what women think if you're a heterosexual male. I mean, sure, there are objective measures of facial attractiveness, like the chin to philtrum ratio, facial width to height ratio, having equal facial thirds, having good facial harmony, strong jawline, strong chin, prominent cheekbones, healthy skin, healthy hair. The list goes on and on. You'd be better off getting a face rating from someone like Nero Angelo, Wheat Waffles, Face IQ, like one of those guys who knows those ratios in and out and can give you the best overall objective rating. You could also go see a plastic surgeon as they evaluate faces for a living. I'm just some guy on the internet who shares his perspective and stories at the end of the day. I'm not the best person to go to be honest. The next reason has to do with subjectivity. I can tell when a guy is really facially attractive and when a guy is below average in facial attractiveness. But there's a lot of subjectivity in the middle for rating men and women. Like, everyone can agree that Henry Cavill or Jeremy Meeks is an objective 9. And Danny DeVito is a 3, and that Madison Beer is a 9, and Lizzo is a 2 or 3, but looks become more subjective to a degree in the 5 to 7 range, and that's where most people lie in terms of facial attractiveness. I could study the facial ratios and get a deep understanding of facial harmony and angles, but there would still be a degree of subjectiveness even in how I would rate people, and it's almost subconscious. Like, Michael B. Jordan is the best example I can give. Like, judging his looks from a guy's perspective, like, I see him as above average looking. Like the 6 range, 6.5. He has some good facial features, but he lacks good bone structure, such as a strong jawline, strong chin, and prominent cheekbones. So if someone that looked very similar to him were to come to me asking for a face rating, I would probably give them a 6. But therein lies the problem, because some women are going to see a guy that looks like Michael B. Jordan and see him as extremely attractive, because they like that particular phenotype and they like that look. Other women will see Michael B. Jordan and will see him as, just above average looking, and they won't see him as anything special. And the same thing could be said about a girl like Taylor Swift. Like, I would say objectively she's about a 7 in looks. But there are some guys out there, I know some guys that find her to be perfect looking. And I know other guys that say she's a 5. So there's definitely some subjectivity when it comes to, looks in the 5 to 7 range. And because of this, like, I wouldn't want to give out like a blank rating to someone. The next reason is potentially giving someone a bad rating. Like, a guy could be a 7 facially, and I may see him as a 6. Or vice versa, I give a 7 rating when a guy is objectively a 6. This kind of happened in my, I did like a 1 to 10 look scale for men. And I had rated, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck as a 6. And like, looking back, they're probably in the 7 to 8 range. But like I said, it's just, I wouldn't want to give someone, not necessarily a really bad rating, but like a bad rating in general. If I rated someone who's really a 6 and I rated him a 7, that could give him some like false confidence. And vice versa, if I rate a guy who's a 6 who's really a 7, that may reduce their self-esteem. That's why I think it's best to see a plastic surgeon or someone who's extremely experienced in rating men's facial attractiveness, like a Wheat Waffles, Nero Angelo, Face IQ, because like, they know the angles, the ratios, and the facial harmony extremely well, and would probably give you a much more accurate rating, much more than I would, just some guy. The last reason is that I just don't want to make money in the black pill space. I've got a good career outside of YouTube, and I really view this channel as like purely a hobby to share my experiences, give decent advice, and share my thoughts on a certain subject and let off some steam. I don't exactly have a regular schedule where I make videos on a certain day, and I don't really have like a set format. Like I just kind of think of an idea and then I time box some time to make the video and put it out there. And I don't think there's anything wrong with selling a face rating service, but I just personally wouldn't want to do it. If I would put myself back to when I was in my early to mid 20s and ask for a face rating, like I would be hoping to get a certain number. I'd be hoping to get a 7 or, get an 8. And then I know if I got a worse rating, I definitely would have like taken it really personally, especially when I was like really overweight and balding. I think a lot of people have kind of like an overinflated sense of how much they're attractive. And I think when they get a rating that's lower than what they were hoping, I think for some people it can really fuck with them. And to be honest, I just don't want to be the person to give someone bad news about their face. It can get really personal. Like some people can really take it to heart, and it can really fuck up their self-esteem. I'd rather someone else do that. I definitely think it's a decent service, at a low price for guys to know where they stand in terms of facial attractiveness. I just don't want to be the messenger. I'd rather make money other ways in my free time, such as like developing a mobile app or trading. I also think if I started selling face ratings, I would feel like pressured to strategically make content to drive traffic to the face ratings. I would feel like if I would have to make more looks maxing videos, and I just like to talk about different subjects each time I make a video. One day I may want to share a dating story. The next day I may want to talk about a personal story. And then another day I may want to actually give looks maxing advice. And I feel like I wouldn't be able to do that as much. And it would feel like more like a job at the end of the day. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like. Feel free to comment down below. And feel free to subscribe. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care.